Wanted to make a really quick video on how to write your own YAMLs in either regular core-based games in Archipelago or even any of your alpha or beta games in Archipelago as well. So I'm just going to give you guys a really quick run through on how to do that and make it easy for you. Keep in mind, things are going to change. Archipelago is going to update, so this video might be out of date quickly or not. But I think it will be relevant for long enough, so I'm just going to go ahead and do this for you. Anyway, so first thing you got to do is have Archipelago downloaded. It is kind of weird if you don't already have that step. Follow the steps on the website in order to get to there. But when you have it downloaded and when you have access to your Archipelago folder on your computer, what you're going to want to do is, if you have any custom games, so if it's not on the main Archipelago website under supported games, you're going to need what we call an APworld. I host a lot of Archipelago games, so I have a lot of APworlds. They go under the custom worlds folder here. So if you have a game you want to play, you're going to need this as well. You're going to need to give it to the host as well. Be sure to give them the most updated version and generally have the most updated version of Archipelago. As of today, March 21st, 2026, the version is 6.7. So if you're using an older version, it probably won't work. But definitely have your most up-to-date APworld if you need one. Have your most up-to-date version of Archipelago. And most of this should be pretty smooth sailing. So if your APworld is in your custom worlds folder and you want to write your YAML, but you are not savvy enough to use Notepad++ and do it manually, what you're going to do is you're just going to start by launching the launcher, and that'll make this guy appear right here. I do suggest starring or favoriting all of the options you tend to use the most. As you see, I got all my special Zelda and universal tracker. I have the options creator, and that's what we're going to be focusing on, but it will be under all, and you can actually search for whatever you need in order to get to what you need faster. So that's all easy. So you're going to, when you want to write your YAML, you're going to start by opening your options creator. It sometimes takes my computer a second. It might take your computer a second too. My computer's pretty decent, not the best, definitely not the worst though. So it's been creative. So you can start by just typing in who you are, and that'll be great. It can happen before or after. So since I have a lot of APworlds, I have all of these games I can make YAMLs for. Again, I host a lot of Archipelago multi-worlds, so I end up with a lot of APworlds. So let's just do something a little bit different. So this one's going to be for Sonic Adventure DX. You probably only had to click it once. I clicked it a few times, but it's going to very, very coherently put everything you need to know. So like with Sonic, I have all of these groupings of settings. So each drop down is going to be a group of settings depending on your game. So if for instance, I don't play any Spyro games, but let's look at Spyro the Dragon. That only has two options right here. Most games are going to have game options and item and location options, and many games will have way more than that. A lot of games will have like goal options. Some of this stuff is just a little all over the place, and this APworld just got updated, so I might not be able to explore everything. But what I can do is, if I don't care what the setting is, I could just hit random, and it'll just generate something on its own accord. You can click on these bubbles, and you'll have your options pop up. Let's go to something a little bit more specific to this game. If you hover over a setting title, here, let me not full screen it because I'm not showing my full screen right now, but if you hover over a title, all of the options in this setting will pop up and be explained to the best of the developer's abilities. So that way you have an idea of what you're doing. So I'm pretty new to this specific randomizer, Sonic Adventure DX, so I'm keeping it to normal logic. I like to have a random starting character. Starting location, I like to have a little bit more fun, and I'll put it in a random location. So you can get all of the settings that have something to do. So, let's just assume I've gone through everything, because you might not be interested in this game in particular, and I'm not going to make you sit through that. And you don't have to close the drop-down menus either. I just like to keep things a little bit more clean. But once you're done, you're going to hit Export Options. Oh, and I got to put a name, so I'm just going to go SADX. Easy peasy, Export Options. And then I set my output to be in my Players folder. So we're just going to go ahead and save that. I can delete it later. I'm not going to use that one. But you can have this sent to wherever. If you're planning on using it immediately, then yes, upload it to the player, or export it to the players folder right here. If not, export it wherever you want to on your computer, so you can send it to your host, and that will be how you write your YAMLs. If you decide you need to do a little bit more to your YAMLs, if you want to do something a little bit more advanced, you're probably going to want to download Notepad++. It's free. It's pretty easy to use. It's like a notepad, but with a little bit more to work with. So it's on a different screen at the moment. Let me bring it over to you guys. Okay, so this could be very intimidating to people who've never had to look at YAMLs this intently before, but most of it is pretty easy to work with. You can change most of these values. I do suggest testing out by generating a seed locally after you've gone through your YAML, just to make sure that it'll work. Personally, whenever I receive a new YAML for a multi-world, I immediately roll a seed with it, just to make sure there's no bugs or inconsistencies that are going to make it not work. Like, for instance, the way I like to play with Sonic, I actually like to do CB and A missions, and the YAML would want me to type it out like this. But you wouldn't know that necessarily until you look at a few more YAMLs and you figure out what it needs and what it wants. But that's why we went ahead and used our options creator here to just write out this file for us. This is also fantastic if you don't have an example YAML that went with your APworld to start from. So that way it'll be a lot easier to create it exactly as it needs to be created for the current version of the multi-world, or of Archipelago, I should say. Okay, I think that's about all I have to say about this. So if anybody has any questions, I will take them in the comments. And yeah, thanks again for watching, and good luck with your multi-world. Good luck, have fun, don't die.